Most retirement advice tells you what to buy and what to invest in, but in practice, the biggest upgrade you can make before retirement is usually not to add extra things. It is actually to sell the things that are draining your money, your time, and even your mental energy. I'm not going to try and kid you and tell you that you should live with less, but retirement works best when you haven't got huge expenses dragging you down. In this video, I want to walk you through 5 things worth selling before you retire. After working with thousands of people as they move into retirement, one pattern shows up again and again. The happiest retirees are not the ones with the most stuff. They're the ones who remove the biggest expenses that were weighing them down early on. They simplified before they stopped working, and that made everything so much easier. So let's start with the ones that usually make the biggest financial difference. The first one, the obvious one, the oversized house. The first thing to consider selling before you retire is that big oversized house. There's nothing wrong with it, and it was probably perfect when you were raising your kids. But when you fast forward to retirement, it might not be perfect anymore. The kids are gone, rooms sit empty, and the house slowly turns from a home into a big responsibility and a pain in your backside. Big houses do not just cost money. They also cost your time and your attention. This could be for maintenance, repairs, utilities, cleaning, and just general upkeep of the property. 2 clients of mine who were very well off ended up spending all of their pension commencement lump sum on an extension on their house. They decided they wanted to do up their family home and spent a fortune renovating it and putting a kitchen on it. 5 years later, the upkeep of the property was getting too much, and they just wanted to be closer to their kids who had actually moved out and gone on their own paths. They ended up selling the property and never got the value for the modifications that they made. Downsizing is not about giving up your lifestyle. It's all about getting back more of your time and getting more flexibility. A simple question to ask yourself is this: do I love this house, or do I love the life this house used to support? When you're in retirement, you don't want to spend your time managing property. You want to enjoy your life and be close to those who you love. Okay, so now we've looked at the big house. The next thing we'll look at is the second car. So number 2, the second car. The second thing to consider selling is the extra vehicle. When you're working, multiple cars make sense. You may be commuting and schedules matter. You can't be in 2 places at once. In retirement, though, that tends to change. Each vehicle leaks money. There's the insurance, the registration, the servicing, the depreciation. All of these costs start to add up. And a useful test is to try living with 1 car for 60 days. You don't need to sell anything yet. Just start by testing it. If it's annoying but manageable, that tells you it's probably going to be a good idea. If it's genuinely disruptive to your life, then great, keep it. I want to make one thing very clear. This isn't about depriving yourself. It's about seeing if something works and then executing on it. Those first 2 points that we touched on are the pretty obvious ones given. But now let's talk about things that are less obvious but often heavier. Also, if you're enjoying this video and finding it useful, please subscribe to the channel for more retirement content and tips. Number 3 is the expensive toys you do not really use. The third thing to consider selling is expensive toys that have become burdens. The boats, the motorhomes, the motorbikes, the classic cars, the timeshares. The problem with a lot of these things is rarely the cost of buying it. It's the ongoing cost and also the mental load. It could be the boat sitting in front of your house that you just don't get the time to take out anymore. It's sat there with green mold all over it. And if we're being honest, you've lost all interest in going out in it anyway. Or it could be that motorhome that you and your family used to love and enjoy. You used to go out on family road trips in it every summer. But since the kids have moved out, it hasn't been used since. All of these things have costs. There's insurance, storage, maintenance, admin. All of these things take up mental capacity and cash. So a good rule of thumb is to keep the one you genuinely use and enjoy it. Because it's normally going to be one, and then just get rid of the rest. Retirement is not the time to become a storage manager. Keeping everything often means enjoying nothing properly. Okay, so now that we've looked at all the physical things that might drain you, next we'll look at the less tangible drains. So number 4 might come as a shock, but financially supporting adult children at your expense. And the next one is emotional, and we're not going to deny that fact. It's the ongoing financial support for adult children when it comes at the expense of your own retirement. Helping your kids is always going to be a good instinct. It's natural for a parent. And of course, it's something we would all like to do. But sacrificing your retirement security is a completely different thing. Your children have time on their side, but your retirement, unfortunately, has a clock. It could be that your son or daughter is buying their first home, and since they have used up all of their savings on their wedding, they don't have enough for that deposit. But the thing is that there are loans for homes, cars, and education. There are no loans for retirement. So if you want to help, that's fine, but it needs boundaries. A clear amount, a purpose, and an end date. Otherwise, the support from you is going to turn into a dependency, and retirement turns into stress because of your kindness to your kids. If you need help with tips for gifting to your kids in retirement, click the link in the description box to watch our next video. Now, the final thing is not something you can sell online, but it might be the most important. And number 5 is your work identity. The 5th thing to let go of is your work identity. Something we see with a lot of our clients is they retire financially ready, but they are emotionally unprepared. For decades, work has provided structure, status, routine, validation, then it stops and people feel lost. Your job title was never who you were, it's just what you did. You've got to remember that. I used to work with a lot of people from Shell, senior engineers who've been with the business for years. They called it a curse. That when a lot of their colleagues had stopped working, they suddenly died and passed away. Some very, very, very soon after their official retirement date. And in my humble opinion, that was because their identity had been lost and they thought they had lost their purpose. Retirement should not be a loss of purpose. It is the redesign of it. The most fulfilled retirees build a new structure around their lives. This can be around health, relationships, learning, projects, or contributing back to causes they'd always wished they could have. You're not shrinking your identity. You should be widening it in retirement. You shouldn't be getting smaller. If you want a simple filter for everything we've covered, use these 3 questions. So number 1, does this serve the life I'm moving into or the life I'm leaving behind? Number 2, what is the true cost, including time, stress, and attention? And number 3, if I let this go, what becomes possible? We don't want you to have a less meaningful life, but we do want you to carry less weight around with you in retirement. If this video was helpful, let us know by clicking the like button and leave me a comment on what would be the hardest thing for you to sell and what you think would be the most freeing. If you want more videos like this, subscribe to our channel. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much for watching.